Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to College Sport Check Basketball Scoreboard for this Friday, February 3rd. We got scores from Wednesday and Thursday, and so we'll get right into that. Starting on Wednesday, there were 55 games Wednesday, 55 games on Thursday, a bunch of games going on as we speak. We'll be back here on Monday to update the weekend scores. All right. So starting for Wednesday, number 3 Kansas defeating number 2 Baylor 73-68. Number 4 Villanova over Providence 66-57. Number 9 Virginia defeats Virginia Tech 71-48. Number 11, UCLA defeats Washington State 95-79. Number 14, Cincinnati over Tulsa 57-55. Number 15, Florida State defeats Miami, Florida 75-57. Number 10, South Carolina over LSU 88-63. Number 23, Purdue defeats number 25, Northwestern 80-59. And go Hoosiers, Indiana defeating Penn State 110-102 in triple overtime. Stetson over Thune-Cookman 76-67. Gardner-Webb over Campbell 80-68. UMBC over Binghamton 92-74. Army West Point over Lafayette 80-73. IUPUI defeats North Dakota State 86-81 in overtime. Wichita State over Drake 77-69. VCU over Richmond 81-74. St. John's over Marquette 86-72. High Point over Longwood 92-68. Syracuse defeating North Carolina State 100-93 in overtime. Indiana State over Evansville 85-84, also in overtime. Clemson defeats Georgia Tech 74-67. Albany over Massachusetts Lowell 90-77. Arkansas over Alabama 87-68. Hampton over Maryland Eastern Shore 66-65. LaSalle defeating Massachusetts 88-78. Winthrop over Radford 81-65. Bucknell over American University 80-60. St. Louis over George Mason 76-74 in double overtime. Holy Cross over Colgate 56-50. Stony Brook over New Hampshire 64-61. North Carolina Asheville over Charleston Southern 91-73. Houston over Central Florida 82-64. Vermont over Maine 74-53. Loyola Maryland over Lehigh 62-60. Delaware State over North Carolina A&T 82-65. TCU over Kansas State 86-80 in overtime. And then we have Austin Peay defeating Eastern Kentucky 83-81 in overtime as well. South Dakota State defeating Western Illinois 98-65. Southern Illinois defeating Bradley 85-65. Abilene Christian over New Orleans 79-60 in OT. Jacksonville State over Southeast Missouri State 74-62. St. Bonaventure over Duquesne 71-64. Omaha over South Dakota 91-83. Southeastern Louisiana over Nichols State 72-44. Texas A&M CC over Houston Baptist 90-79. Tennessee Martin over Tennessee Tech 75-46. College Sport Check Basketball Scoreboard. Some more scores from Wednesday. Illinois State defeating Northern Illinois 57-51. Texas over Texas Tech 62-58. Xavier over Seton Hall 72-70. Utah State defeats Nevada 74-57. SMU over East Carolina 86-46. Cal State Northridge over Long Beach State 108-98. Fresno State over the Air Force 73-64. USC over Washington 82-74. New Mexico over UNLV 82-77. And those are the scores from Wednesday. Now take a look at Thursday. All right. 55 games yesterday, the 2nd of February. Number 1, Gonzaga defeats BYU 85-75. Number 5, Arizona over Oregon State 71-54. Number 13, Oregon over Arizona State 71-70. St. Mary's, California defeats Pacific 74-70. Number 24, Florida over Missouri, 93-54. Mount St. Mary's over Bryant, 77-70. Ellen over James Madison, 67-61. Sacred Heart over Fairleigh Dickinson, 74-70. Oakland over Youngstown State, 90-76. Old Dominion over Florida International, 64-57. Navy defeats Boston University, 70-61. William and Mary over Northeastern, 94-69. Furman over Mercer, 70-68. Towson defeats Drexel 104-103 in double overtime. Hofstra over Delaware 73-65. Charleston over North Carolina Wilmington 67-66. Wolford defeats Citadel 100-90. Memphis over South Florida 85-75. Cleveland State over Detroit Mercy 90-73. East Tennessee State over VMI, 81-71. Wagner over Central Connecticut State, 70-60. Robert Morris over LIU Brooklyn, 67-63. Florida Atlantic over Charlotte, 77-75. Michigan State over Nebraska, 72-61. And St. Francis face-off, if you will. We have St. Francis, PA defeats St. Francis of Brooklyn, 78-61. Chattanooga over North Carolina Greensboro, 91-68. Green Bay over Illinois Chicago, 84-80. Middle Tennessee over Texas San Antonio, 69-59. Central Arkansas over Northwestern State, 107-97. Louisiana Tech over Western Kentucky, 76-67. Fairfield over Niagara, 81-61. Samford over Western Carolina, 82-63. Eastern Illinois over Tennessee State, 77-67 in overtime. Valparaiso defeats Milwaukee, 71-53. Southern Miss over Marshall, 91-76. McKinney State over Incarnate Word, 87-79. Weber State over Southern Utah, 90-74. California over Utah, 77-75 in double OT. Sam Houston State over Stephen F. Austin, 72-63. Belmont over Murray State, 81-69. Eastern Washington over Sacramento State, 77-72. Idaho State over Northern Arizona, 91-90 in overtime. San Francisco defeats Pepperdine, 77-56. Cal State Fulton defeats UC Santa Barbara 79-53. UTEP over Alabama Birmingham 63-59. Loyola Marymount over San Diego 72-53. Idaho over Portland State 89-72. Santa Clara over Portland 60-45. Hawaii defeats UC Riverside 72-63. Cal Poly over UC Davis 74-70. And finally, Colorado defeats Stanford 81-74. And that's going to do it for today. Thank you for tuning in from the Skybox Podcast Center. This is Manny Algren, and this is College Sport Check Basketball Scoreboard.